For chest day, it's good for pressing. For back day, it's good for rowing. For leg day, it's good to sit down on in between sets. This right here is the RitKeep RAB-2000 adjustable weight bench. Let's check it out. What's up everyone, David here, got a new video for y'all today. But before we get into it, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you miss out on any new videos. Because remember, new videos on this channel are Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, so don't miss out. Now, first and foremost, I want to go ahead and say thank you to RitKeep. If you haven't already, go back a couple weeks ago, check out the video where they sent me one of their best barbells for me to review. Have been using it ever since, absolutely no complaints whatsoever when it comes to that bar. Go ahead and check out that video review. Now, on top of that, they reached out again and they say, you know what, let's add on to it. Now we got a bench to go along with the bar. So if you got a home gym, you already got a barbell, you got some weight plates, good. Introducing a bench to your lineup could increase the amount of exercise you do within any given workout. But not just that, you got to be selective with the type of benches that you have. You got to be real picky about it because you also got to take space into account, which is one thing that I really like about this bench. Is very space saving. It doesn't take up a lot of floor space, so it's real good. So thank you first and foremost again to RitKeep. Very appreciative, not just for the bar, because again, believe me, I have been using it, especially as I'm getting ready and prepping for my first powerlifting meet ever in December. It's been being put to good use, but now we got a bench to add on to that. So again, thank you, truly grateful. Let's go ahead and check it out. Let's see what the good, the bad, if there's anything bad, just from my own personal experiences from using it. Right off the gate, when it came to the delivery and the packaging, good packaging, very protective. One thing I really liked about the packaging though is that it had a label specifically on it that said do not cut too deep into it. The reason why, and this goes for any piece of equipment, anytime you're going to be having something that you know it has padding, has upholstery, you never know when that specific piece, because we all know all the gym pieces of equipment are already disassembled when they ship it. What if this is at the very top of the packaging of the box, which it was, and you stick a box cutter in there and you try to slice the box open? If you penetrate a little too deep, you might end up cutting the upholstery. So I really like that they put that, because this pad actually was at the very top of the box. So if I were to just aimlessly go through it with a box cutter, oh, it would have been over. I would have just sliced this right down the middle. So real good on the packaging, real good on the labeling, real good on the warnings. Now, as far as the assembly went, I assembled it by yourself. You realistically do not need a second person to help you assemble it. It will take you probably, I'd say honestly, less than 20 minutes. I mean, there was very minimal pieces. Instructions, very self-explanatory, nothing too crazy, real easy, not difficult by any stretch of the imagination. Again, 20 minutes here and there, putting the pieces together, easy. So no complaints there. And on top of that, once it's assembled, sturdy. I mean, it wasn't so many pieces, wasn't too many nuts and bolts, but the very few that there were, they made them count, because this thing, it stood up through the workouts. Now, when we look at this bench, what are we looking at? What makes it so wow? Well, first off, we got to take into account it's an adjustable bench, so that means the back pad can be changed in any direction, any angle that you want, which is really good because that's going to add a lot of varieties to your actual workouts. So as far as the different levels of incline for the backrest, there's 10 different indications of the levels that you put them on, depending on where you're going to pull the pin and where you're going to lock it in place. Make sure that no matter what you do, no matter what setting you put it on, you hear that little click right there to make sure that it's locked in place. The last thing you want is to not click it in spot, and then once you lie down on it, boom, a little jolt down. It might throw off your set. So although there are 10 different levels ranging from all the way from a military press, so completely vertical, to a flat bench, there's actually 11 settings as a whole. There's 10 levels indicated on there, but the 11th actually, if we were to pull the pin, you can go into a slight decline right there. So you see, that's going to be a good one. Not too many people do decline nowadays, but if you want to do abs, it's definitely going to be a good one. Now, that's for the actual backrest. There's also the seat rest, which is adjustable, which I really like because a lot of benches don't actually have the actual seat portion adjustable. But you got to keep in mind, if we're doing some type of incline, the fact that our body is now angled, we might be slipping off coming this way. Now, this portion right here has 4 different settings that we could work up against. This really helps out. Make sure you don't slip off. You got to move the angle of the seat a little bit higher if you're going to be moving the backrest on a slight incline. So overall, really good. Plenty of levels, a lot of variety, perfect for whatever upper body workout you want to do. Now, earlier, what did I say about the incline? I said it's not the only thing. You could also go in the decline, which is not quite as often that we see that. But luckily for this bench, it's also got a footrest, a foot attachment, leg attachment right here. This is going to be great for those of you who are trying to get a little bit of abs. I don't know how many of y'all do actual core exercises, actual sit-ups, or whatever variations it is that you choose, but I actually do like doing decline sit-ups. That's been a big go-to for my personal ab training. This has really helped out because now you have somewhere to anchor your feet on, and depending on the length of your limbs, how long your legs are, you could always adjust it. So just like everything else, it's got a little knob. You can go ahead and adjust it to the varying angles. Just make sure again that you click, or you hear the click actually happening. Make sure it's not so loose. Wherever it is that you want to put it, boom, good. Overall, bench very sturdy, gets the job done, doesn't jolt, nothing too crazy, very well built. I like that it actually has wheels in the back as well, because that means it will allow it to be portable. And if you got a home gym, I'm pretty sure you understand the struggle of, you know, space is limited. We got to make sure whatever little space that we do have, we got to be able to move in and out freely and without any difficulty. So the fact that it's on wheels and the fact that it's pretty light, it doesn't really weigh that much, can be easily rolled around throughout the gym wherever I need it. Whether I need it right here in the open space in front of the dumbbell rack because I want to do some type of dumbbell bench press, or I need it over in the squat rack because I'm about to bench press with the bar. Very convenient to have this around. Very convenient that, again, it is super light. So even if you have to move it up, even if you have to move it around, oh my god, it's, even though it's light though, it doesn't mean that it's fragile. It is very well built. It is sturdy. I was loading it up, held up perfectly. So as far as overall specifications, you get the idea. It's got a 1,200 pound weight limit on it. So I mean, on average, if you're weighing 200 pounds, that must mean you have 1,000 pounds worth of barbell weight on top of you. I don't know anyone that's that strong, so trust me, it will hold up to whatever weight it is that you have. Especially if you're going to be training in a home gym setting, it will hold up with what you want. Speaking of holding up, what workouts did I did on it? I spent this whole past week actually putting it through various different types of workouts just to see the different exercises that you do, and I was trying to think a little of everything. Realistically, when it comes to using a bench, you're mainly going to be using it for upper body days. So those were the things that I went ahead and tested, and I pretty much broke it up into 3 body parts: chest, back, arms. Those are realistically the big ones, or if you want to think about it, pressing, pulling, and a little bit of accessory work, because those are going to be the big movements that we will otherwise do when it comes to actually utilizing just, you know, a typical adjustable bench. So as far as the bench press went, obviously that's going to be on the flat setting, and I loaded it up 225 in the bar. Let's rep it out. How does it hold up? Very sturdy. Down towards the ground, there's these little rubber stoppers underneath the legs that keeps the bench from sliding around. Good. The padding itself, nice and sturdy. It doesn't feel like I'm on a piece of metal. There's actually a little bit of comfort right there for when you're retracting those shoulder blades and pressing. The bench is actually long enough, so especially if you're someone who's really tall, longer torso, you got plenty of space to move in and out. The bench doesn't jolt, doesn't move around, nothing caves in. So as far as supporting you when you're lying down on a bench press, I got no issues there whatsoever. Now, on top of that, what else can we do on chest day? A little bit of incline, which is honestly probably the biggest exercise, or the most popular one you're going to be doing as far as an adjustment goes for the incline. So many different levels that you want, depending on your anatomy, your comfort, whatever it is that you got to do to feel the chest exercise right here on your upper pec. That's what's going to determine the incline. Some people prefer a pretty low incline like this. Some people prefer a pretty steep incline like this. For me, I'm right around in the middle. I like putting it for my incline bench press either on level 4 or level 5. Any one of those two, regardless, they were both good. That was for the back pad, but for the C pad, I put it all the way onto level 4. And honestly, I love that this portion moves. It really does help out, because if I were to just have it flat and I'm benching on here, I'm gonna slide off this way. So you want to make sure it's angled up a little, so that way there's no way you're slipping off. For as far as incline goes, same thing. Sturdy, supports you. 185 on the bar, just repping it out. No issues there whatsoever. So those were my main chest movements as far as pressing goes. But you already know, if you're gonna have an adjustable bench, let's make it about as adjustable as it can be. Let's go all the way right here, 90-degree angle right there, straight up and down. What are we doing here? We're doing shoulder press. So I went ahead and did it with the dumbbells. Again, no issues. It gets the job done. The bench isn't moving around. The padding is comfortable. It gets the job done of what it's needed. And what it's needed for is to actually support you as you're seated, as you're pressing the weight up and down. So that's as far as my pressing day goes. So all the main exercises, the main pressing movements, the benching, the pressing on all the various levels of incline, from going all the way down as flat to all the way down as upright. So for pulling now we're thinking about back day. Since we already have it on incline right here, what I did were some chest supported rows. Face down, pull those elbows up. Pretty good. I really like it, especially for those of you who are in a home gym. You wouldn't have access to the typical, commercial gym pieces of equipment that you would otherwise use, like a chest supported row machine, a seal row, a chest supported T-bar row machine. If you're in a home gym and you don't have access to those bigger, bulkier pieces of equipment, all right, improvise. Just get a bench like this, RitKeep RAB-2000 adjustable weight bench, perfect for it. Put it on an incline, face down, grab those dumbbells, pull them up, squeeze those shoulders back. Great workout for your upper back. You'll feel in the lats, you'll feel in those lower traps. That's personally one of my favorite exercises. I really like doing it on here, and I like that it's very, very adjustable. So even if I want to go just a slight incline, just enough to get myself high enough off the ground, this will work good. If I want to work a little less lats but a little bit more traps, okay, easy. Just move it up a little bit more so on the incline. So whatever angle feels good for you, that's where you're going to put it on for that movement. Now, another thing I did for back, put it back on flat, just your typical dumbbell one-arm rows. Because we all know when we have those heavy rows, you don't want to be that guy that's in front of the dumbbell rack and just hogging up all that space, working off the rack, even though you are in a home gym. It is your own gym, so you can do whatever you want. But I just like doing it off of the bench instead. So one hand on the bench, rowing. One thing I liked, one thing I was worried about is I thought the moment I'm supporting my hand that I was going to end up pushing the whole thing forward or tipping it over like this. No, as I was rolling, 125-pound dumbbell, my body weight being pushed through my hand onto the bench, didn't budge, didn't slide, nothing, stable. And again, I got a feeling it has to do with these little rubber stoppers that are on the ends of all the legs of the bench. Rubber creates that friction, boom, won't be sliding around anywhere. So those were pretty much the two main back exercises or the main rowing exercises I was doing when utilizing this bench. Loved both of them. Now, what else do we have on upper body? Well, we got the accessories. We got bis and tris. So for triceps, kept it on flat here. Just did some modified versions of skull crushers with those dumbbells. Again, no issues right there. Not too complicated of an exercise, but it gets the job done. For biceps, I don't know how many of y'all train with that full range of motion, but if you want a deep stretch in those biceps, you want a full contraction, go ahead and put a bench on incline, lie all the way down, and let your arms just hang all the way down, full lockout at the elbow. Stretch those biceps and then contract. That's definitely one of my favorite bicep exercises. Not too common, we don't see that too often. Most of the time when people do their curls seated, they're all the way up here. No. Lean back just a tad bit, feel that stretch. Trust me, that's gonna be a game changer for your bicep development. So that's it pretty much for the accessory exercises. There's so many more that you can do that I didn't film. I can grab a dumbbell right here and do some forearm curls. I could just sit down on the bench, do some laterals. Just get a little creative. There's a lot of things that you could do on this bench. But last thing, which you can't do on too many unless it actually has the attachment for it, right here, the leg roller attachment. Now, abs, you gotta train them. They're important. What I did for this one specifically is this could be moved around in any direction. I put it all the way up. I put it the highest setting, and then this C pad I also put on the highest setting. Now, however, this I put it on decline. It's not as drastic of a decline though, I will admit that. This is as far or as much of a decline as I'm gonna get, but for what you need it for the sake of how you're gonna be working your abs when you're doing your crunches, when you're doing your sit-ups, this works. Now, the only thing that I have to critique about this bench is just gonna be in regards to this. When you're doing your abs, your leg is gonna drape over here. I wish though that there was an additional roller pad right here, because if I'm right here, the back of my knee isn't supported by anything because the pad is not that wide. I wish there was another roller, so a roller is supporting the back of my knee right here, and then this portion right here is what my shin is wedged up against. But even without that, just this alone, it gets the job done. I mean, realistically, all it has to do is just keep you from completely flying backwards. It gets the job done. Not too crazy of a change, but if it were just have an additional roll right here, it would definitely make just a tad bit of a difference. Another thing, and this is something that I could easily fix myself, but these rollers right here, they're made out of foam, as any bench would be. But the fact that I'm outdoors, and again, this is very specific to me because my home gym actually is outdoors, is I feel like the weather might tear these apart a little. So if they had like some type of vinyl leather or like some type of sleeve over it, because I feel like this foam will become very brittle, especially as the sunlight hits it, as the elements, you know, the wind, how hot it is, the rain, the water will dry it up. So if it had just some type of like leather sleeve or vinyl sleeve, like whatever this upholstery is made out of, just wrap it with that as well, just to protect the foam, to give it a little bit more life. But again, that one's not too drastic. I could easily just sew up some upholstery and then wrap it. Hell, you can even get a little resourceful, do it with some duct tape. Those will be my only two critiques when it comes to utilizing this bench. Other than that, I mean, it gets the job done. With that being said, once again, RitKeep, thank you. Truly grateful. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the bench. Thank you for the bar. Trust me, that bar is getting used quite a bit. It's getting used every single workout. This bench will definitely be getting used as well, mostly on those upper body days. So hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Comment down below any other video suggestions you'd like to see me do, whether it be about mindset, motivation, nutrition, diets, workouts, programs, whatever it is. Comment down below. I'd be more than happy to help y'all out. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any new videos, because remember, new videos on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, so don't miss out. And Instagram and TikTok, same thing. Be sure to follow me on both accounts. I put all my links down in the description below. With that being said, I'll catch y'all next time.